In this video, I really want to cover some of the plugins that I use on a regular basis and why I use them, and just some security features you may want to check to see if your website that you've created with WordPress is doing, and some things that you might find can enhance some security issues you may be struggling with. So first of all, I just loaded a blank copy of WordPress here. We're looking at the hello world. Nothing exciting. So I'm going to go to the dashboard, and right off the bat, the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm very surprised how many people don't do this. Even if you're not going to be using the post feature, I always go in when I very first load WordPress, and I always delete this hello world. It's a place that you get a lot of trashy comments, and it's not something that most people use. It's just a template type of, post type of thing. So I always delete that. So I'm going to come down here to plugins, and of course when you very first loaded, these aren't activated, but you can leave them there or take them away. The ones I like to add, the ones I add every single time I start a new website, load a new copy of WordPress on, these are ones I always do every single time. I'm going to hit add new, and I'm going to go under popular. And there's a variety of these that get loaded depending on the website that people are going to build. But one that I always do is this real simple Ssl certificate. If you haven't purchased an Ssl certificate, which actually puts the lock, see this little lock up here? Now some of this comes with hosting. You'll automatically get an Ssl certificate, but I'm still finding a lot of sites don't, so I always just install the real simple Ssl certificate. When you activate that, it puts a lock on your site. So it's just really simple, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's kind of a simple one. Some hosting companies do not offer free backup. This backup program is nice, and I generally do install a backup program. I like this particular one because it also allows you to back up your website onto your hard drive, so you can move between hosting if that's what works for you. So scrolling down here, I like this limited login attempts reloaded. I like this one, but I only like it if you do some added features to it. And so I'm going to go ahead and install this and kind of show you what I do and a little bit of how it works. And I'm going to activate this now in the video so that we can see how it works. So now you see this limited login attempt. So I'm going to pick on this over here, because if you don't do these settings, this will drive you crazy. Okay, so what it's going to do is anytime someone tries to attempt to log into your website, it's going to send you messages. And so and you're going to say, oh, I'm getting hacked, I'm getting hacked. Well, no, it's just a standard thing. It happens a lot of times, but here's some things you can do, and it's going to show you that it's blocking more things. So I'm going to go to settings, and as you recall, and so it's going to send me an email, and it's going to send me an email after however many lockouts. I'm going to just jump this up, because if I get 30 lockouts, maybe I should take a look at it. So I'm going to put this up real high. But down here, it allows, so someone will get locked out after 4 tries. It will lock them out for how long? If you're getting hacked, you can lock them out for an hour. And then after 4 lockouts, the time increases to 240 hours. Okay, so it's going to lock them out for a really long time. So I kind of like that setting. You can do what you want there on that. Here under logs, this is where I do a lot of things that I think is helpful. If you look at my users, I'm going to hit on all users just for a second. And you see I created a user of Webfoot, that's the username to get into my site. But the default for WordPress is admin. And sometimes people are real lazy and they just do, the next one is they use a lot as users. So I actually come down here to limit login attempts, and I go to log, and I come down here to the blacklist, and if they use admin, or user or login. If they use any of these, it'll automatically lock them out. Not a chance. Okay? You could put your username up here if you wanted to as a safe list, but sometimes they figure out what your username is and you don't want to keep it on the safe list. So I just put the ones down here that aren't safe. I mean, if somebody tries to log in under admin, that's the default. You kind of know you're getting, somebody's trying to hack you. So I'm going to hit save that. So we can come back and I'll do another video on some of the more of the details of this, but those are the big things that I do. And you can also change this setting to not email you at all. It just blocks them, and that's all. So that would be under settings, and you can have it not send you an email at all if that's what you want to do. So that is some of the thing I do there. Let's go back to the plugins because there's a couple more I really like. So add new, and I like this one. It is a login Captcha, and what it does, I'm just going to hit this up here. This real simple login Captcha actually puts a 3-digit number. So when they try to log in, they put their username and the password, and it'll ask them to put in 3 digits. And I'll show you how that works. But I'm going to go ahead and install that. That's a big one I use all the time. And the other one I like, and I'll show you why. Hide admin. I like to use this one. This is WP Hide Login. 1 million users. It's a really great one. And what I like about it, I'm going to go ahead and install it and activate it. I'm going to show you what it does. So down here under settings, I have a WP Hide Login. And what it does is it changes. So before, when you very first load a blank copy of WordPress on, it adds in this, you have to go up here to the top and you type your domain / wplogin.php. People don't remember that. It's hard to remember, and it's also the standard. It's something people use all the time, and so it tells people that's what the login is for a particular site. And it's easy to find out if a site uses WordPress. So what I like to do is I like to change this, and I use words like editor or John Smith's login or whatever you want to put. But I always change this to something else. And then if you have a 404, which is an error on your website, you don't really want it to pop up and say, oh, there's a 404 error. But this will redirect them So if they don't know that they're supposed to type editor, it gives them a 404 error. You could actually create a page that's, a different page and send that there. This redirects someone who tries to access the WP login page and the WP directory while not logged in. So if somebody tries to access that, it's going to give them a 404 error. So that's what that message is. You can also, change your days of the week and some other stuff here. So I'm going to hit save, settings, and this was right here under settings under WP Hide Login. I'm going to go ahead and save those changes. Another plugin that I use quite regularly that I really like, I'm just going to hit add new here. And this one I use a lot is the disable comments. This allows me to disable comments on the entire website, disable comments and remove spam comments. This is a real important one to me because a lot of the websites I build are informational sites that don't have comments on them. And if they have, any place on there that they create a blog or something like that, I'm just going to install this and I can just delete all the I not only get rid of all the comments that are, if you have a lot of comments on your site that are junk already, and you activate this, it'll take off that comment section on your website. You'll watch here. we're going to remove this section right here that says comments. And how we're going to do that is now we've loaded this plugin and we've activated it. We're going to come down here to settings, and I'm just going to disable them everywhere on the entire site. Okay? Now there's no place on my site that they can add comments. Now I'm just going to hit Save Changes. And now there's no place on my site at all that's going to have a box that says comment, add a comment. It's just not going to be there. You could go in and just do it on particular posts or pages. Sometimes people who find they're getting a lot of comments, sometimes they'll even get comments on a picture that is just, you know, a random picture. So I like to use that. It kind of keeps me from getting a lot of emails saying so-and-so commented on your website and thinks this or whatever. So that is a list of some of the ones that I do. Delete comments. I like this limited attempts to log in. I like the simple Ssl certificate. I'm going to go ahead and activate that. That's a pretty easy one. You can just hit activate SSL and that'll put a lock up there on the top. So that's nice. Quick, simple. You can see it has a lock here. The other one, I'm going to activate this simple login Captcha. So what the login Captcha did is it put this number right here, this 830, and now I have to type this in. And the advantage of having that there is that it stops it just retry and retry and retry and retry, because I have to actually be a person or that to actually put that. So also you notice the change the WP admin, you see up here at the top, I had to put in editor. It is no longer what is the standard, which was the WP login.php was what the standard default is. And you're going to see if I hit that, it's going to bring me that there's nothing here. There's not a login page. I changed that login page with the WP hide admin to editor. And you could have changed it to whatever you wanted back in your settings. Just a review of that, those settings are here and the WP admin here. So that's how that works. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. There's lots of other plugins I use. These were just a couple of the ones that I load every single time. I have a lot more videos coming out on different editors, so please subscribe.